After a 2-month hiatus, welcome back to Your Average Witch. If you have a witch that you want me to talk to, let me know. I'm looking for guests for 2026. In this episode, I'm talking with Heather of NVus Alien. We talked about tarot, journaling, and shadow work. Now let's get to the stories. Heather, hello, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Can you please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you do and where they can find you?
Okay. This is always the part that I get messed up on because I'm usually on the other side of this. So, I am Heather. I've been a tarot reader since the dawn of age of time. I started reading when I was about 15. That was 9th grade. I'm 51 now. So, for a while. What else do? I do a podcast called Envious Alien. I teach psychic development, and I geek out on anything having to do with the paranormal. So that's what I'm doing right now.
What is Envious Alien? That's a good name.
It is a podcast about anything I want it to be. So it started out as like a paranormal podcast, but as the years have gone on, it is now a podcast about, it's like conspiracy theories, paranormal, UFOs, fringe stuff, anything that anybody isn't talking about. I'm probably talking about it, and then I throw some tarot in there for fun. Whenever we want, we're like, oh, today's the day we're going to do some tarot readings, and just kind of throw it out there. So
that sounds fun. That sounds like my listeners' type of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely something where people are like, I don't know about this. And then, we start talking, and then like, one of my best friends is a co-host sometimes, more so than not. But, we just start talking about stuff. And like the last episode is kind of a weird one where we talk about a synchronicity and just some of the weird things that have happened to us doing a ritual at an abbey. And then it like literally branched out for 5 years, where that ritual kept coming back around in like the weirdest kind of ways. And then it finally ended, hopefully.
That's cool.
Cross your fingers. So we kind of put in an end to it, and we talked about it because it's something that people don't talk about a lot, about how when you do a ritual, it kind of has a life of its own, and it'll keep playing out until it doesn't want to anymore. And so yeah, that's the kind of stuff we talk about. It's just odds and ends and just weird things.
Cool. So do you call yourself a witch?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Or you don't. Either way, what does the word mean to you, and why or why does it not apply to you?
Well, it does apply to me. I mean, I started, my goodness, when did I start doing witchcraft? I don't know. See, that's the thing. I tell people that I started when I was 26, but I was talking to my sister about this. She's like, do you remember when you did this little thing and like when you were in 9th grade or 8th grade? I'm like, what are you even talking about? So she said that during that time I was communicating with the other side, and I had like a thought form friend that I created and all these things. And so I'm like, was I doing all kinds of like little rituals without even really realizing it, not knowing what I was doing? But so I think being a witch is just kind of innately in my blood or something. I don't know. So when people call me a witch, I think it's kind of funny because it's more in my personality than it is something that I, it's not a moniker to me. Does that make sense?
Less a practice and more just yourself?
Yeah, that. It's more just something that I've always done. Not realizing, and I think I got serious about it in my 20s. Like I had my son, and that kind of opened a door for me. For whatever reason, having a child kind of pushed me into taking it more seriously and studying it more. but it's not something that I set out to do as I'm going to be a witch now, or I didn't even think of it as spiritual either. I think that's part of the reason why I don't really, I mean, I call myself a witch, but like I'm not like, yeah, I'm a witch, because it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it better. It's like, it's not something where I set out to do that. Or like when people call me a tarot reader, I kind of think that's funny too. Because I read tarot and I've been reading tarot forever, and but it's so much a part of who I am that I don't even think of it that way.
Well, do you have any sort of regular practice that you'll share?
As far as like witchcraft?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things that I love to do is I know this sounds weird, but I love to incorporate feng shui with my practice. And so like my altar is placed in a certain direction, and I have certain symbols and what's the word? Iconography that is related to that. Like right now, I'm working on bringing in better partners in my life, whether that be romantic or just people in general. Like I want to upgrade the character of people in my life.
I like the idea of upgrading them.
Yeah, because like my default is not so good. And so I put okay, this is weird, but it makes sense to me. So when my sister got married, her and her wife, they gave out each a duck, and one of them is blue, and that's my sister's. And then her wife gave a little duck that is yellow. And I was like, oh, this is so cute. And in feng shui, when you put ducks together, that is your soul partner, or people in your life that are supposed to be in your soul family. So I took those ducks, since they were already like part of a wedding, and then I put them on a mirror. And then I surrounded it with antlers, because I'm really into like the forest, nature-y kind of stuff. And it's like sitting there on my altar as like, look, I'm reflecting this, and it's part of my natural habitat, because I live in the forest. So things like that. Those are the kind of things that I like to do, because every time I look at it, it reminds me that, hey, you're allowed to have like awesome people in your life. You're allowed to have an awesome relationship that, doesn't reflect your shadow. And then behind that, I have my Archangel Michael. And then I have I'm very into Mary Magdalene, so I have her up there. And then behind that, I have peacocks, because peacocks are about being the star of your own life. So, yeah. So that's how I like to do things. I like to like put things on my altar or around me that remind me of what the hell I'm doing every day, because I'm a Pisces, so I'm very like, woo, all over the place.
So I gotta ask, did you grow up Catholic?
No.
Oh.
My family's, I know, right? My family is Sicilian though, so I mean, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. But I was actually raised Baptist.
Me too. But maybe I was bad at church. Not even maybe. I was bad at church. I don't remember hearing about Mary Magdalene or angels that much.
No, I stole it from the Catholics. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like flashing back, like, did I learn about that?
No.
All I remember is roll on sweet chariot.
All I remember is if you're not good, you're gonna go to hell. So I spent my whole childhood thinking I was going to go to hell if I wasn't good. And then I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Because that's healthy to teach your children.
Right. There's something off about this. And I started questioning at about 8th grade. But like, that's the scary part about my background, is that I was a really good Baptist. Like, I knew the scriptures. I literally won awards and stuff. For like being a good Christian. And then I don't know what happened. I just sort of went, this doesn't sound right to me. And then I just started reading and looking into other things. And the other side of that made more sense to me. But as far as Archangel Michael and Mary Magdalene, I did a lot of training to be a Magdalene Rose Priestess, which brings in the not the Catholic Mary Magdalene and not the Catholic Mother Mary, but I guess they're Ascended Master versions of them. And so it's really about like moving into the roses, and each rose represents a different aspect of yourself and whatever you're trying to achieve or attain, and then moving into that through their ascended master energy. It's very archetypal. Yeah. And it's very quantum. It's very much about like, a lot of it was about, okay, so like the white rose is about bringing back your innocence, like kind of a refresh of like, whatever you've done, it doesn't really matter anymore. We're going to kind of rebirth it. And then you go into the pink rose, and the pink rose is Lady Nada, and that's about elementals, fairies, like moving into like the nature aspect of life. So like tapping into like the Gaia energy. And then the Mary Magdalene of the red rose is about reclaiming your femininity. So like dealing with like any kind of sexual trauma you have, dealing with any kind of like wounded femininity you have, and rebirthing yourself through that. And it's all about the yoni energy. And then you move into Anana, which is no rose, but Anana is like about, the whole rebirthing process. Like, and you go through a whole death ceremony to rebirth yourself as you should be, as you want to be, and then kind of moving through your life. So it was kind of an intense little bit of time there, but now I really, because of that, I really resonate with Mary Magdalene, and so I use her as my feminine archetype. And then I just really like Archangel Michael. I don't know why. I just decided that he should be there. So.
And what was that called again? Because I have never heard of any of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's called the Magdalene Rose Temple.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
I don't know why I was drawn to it. I looked it up one time on YouTube, and I was like, these are my people. I just give it all to me. I went through a whole program. I did so much with it. And one of the causes too is about like healing the earth, which I find to be so fascinating, the idea of healing the earth, because it kind of moves into druidry and hedge witch stuff, and it's very quantum too, because a lot of it is about moving your energy into the crystalline like parts of the universe, where you're like moving underground and using the water and the circuitry of the water tables and the crystals under the ground to move your own energy to manifest, but also to heal. And I was like, that is so cool. I love that for me.
So what would you say is the biggest motivator in your practice? And has it changed since you first started?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. My biggest motivator, so when I was younger, my biggest motivator just to see, it was an FAFO situation. Let's see what I can do. So it was just throwing stuff at the wall to kind of see like how can I manifest? Like, what are my abilities? How do I do this? Like what do I like to do? So I tried a lot of stuff. That's kind of my personality, though. It's like I'm not a person to like read a book and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna do it. No, I'm all like, oh, the books are there. Let's just see what I can do, and then afterwards,
Yes.
let's see if there's any kind of like system for this. So, definitely my practice has become way more intentional, and I'm really about sovereignty. So all of my practice is really about that. It's how do I create a life that I want? What does that look like? Forget about the rules, forget about other people, just forget about all that. Like, what do I want? And so that's really my practice. It's very intentional. And the other thing too is, as I've gotten, I used to think this was so trite, but as I've gotten older, I really believe in like, well, maybe it's because I live in the woods, but I really believe in kind of being harmonious with nature and really using the energy of the seasons and using the energy of the trees and how things like the flow of water and like really finding inspiration in those kinds of things. And even the feral parts, you know, of Mother Nature, like we have tornadoes here a lot and hurricanes. Ooh. Yeah. And even that to me is like, okay, you know, that's part of nature. That's part of how things work. So how do I embrace that? How do I be comfortable with that? You know? So that's really where my practice has gone recently. Well, like in the last 10 years.
What do you feel like is your biggest struggle with it?
Being cool with whatever happens. Like, I have an Aries moon.
Me too.
Oh, do you really? So you know.
I would have burned everybody's house down.
Right? I'm so impatient. So impatient. I think that's my biggest struggle is especially like manifesting bigger things. I just want it to happen. I want the path to be laid out before me. And sometimes it's like, nope, you got to do some detours first. Or it's like, hey, you haven't done your shadow work on this. So
shut up. Just give me what I said.
Right, exactly. It's like, no, we're going to throw you in some stuff. We want the road to be clear. And I'm like, I don't need clear roads, whatever. Just, but I think that's my biggest struggle. Is that even practicing as long as I have not learned the art of patience.
It's overrated.
I feel ya.
What would you say is your favorite tool in your practice? It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical object. It can be like music or, I don't know, a smell.
Well, it's not a smell. It's tarot. Tarot and journaling are like my two biggest. I know it's very simple, but I love the part that everybody else hates. I love pre-work. I love to be like, okay, I want this thing. What's in the way? Let's tarot about it. So I always put down cards to kind of see what am I doing? And then I love to journal about it and I love to write about it and kind of feel it out. So that way, when I actually do ritual, I know what I'm doing versus like not knowing. Because like, if I want a bunch of money, why do I want the money? Where is it going to go? How do I feel about that? Is it because I'm looking for something else? Am I feeling insecure? So if I'm feeling insecure, what's going to make that better? And how am I going to put that into my ritual so that I don't like mess it up? But that's my favorite tool is tarot and journaling.
Oh, that makes me feel once again like I should journal. All my friends right now are talking about journals and planners today specifically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. So I guess I'm kind of butthurt about that message. How about mind your own business?
Right? You can talk it out too.
That's usually what I do.
I mean,
but then I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, see, I mean, this is probably controversial, but I do have a vent thread or like a ideas thread in my chat GPT, and I'm like, I don't want to hear anything from you. I just want to put it out there, and then later on I might ask you about it. But that is super helpful to me, just because I trauma dump and then it's sitting there because it transcribes it for you, and then if I want feedback on it, I'll get it. But if not, it's just sitting there, so I can look.
Do you literally speak it?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. I yell at it.
Oh.
I told you I have an Aries, a moon. So like if I'm really frustrated or something, so I have an ideas thread. So my ideas thread is like, oh my God, I have this great idea and I got to figure out how to do this. Don't give me any feedback. Just let me say it out loud. If I need something from you, I'll ask. And then later on, when I'm out of the ideas mode, and then I go through and I read it and I go, okay, what the hell does this mean? And then it'll give me a bullet point of like what I meant to say. So that helps me. And then I also have a vent thread because I do get mad about things a lot and I get really frustrated. And so I tell it, I don't need any feedback. I just need to yell. And then I yell at it. And then it goes, I'm really sorry you're feeling this way. And I'm like, hey, okay, thanks. And then that's the end of that. And then I tell my therapist about it later. But it's, I don't know. I find that if I speak it out, it's easier. So I do journal, but I bullet point journal, and then I yell a lot at my chat GPT. After. The journaling comes after.
Okay.
Right?
The fact that I really get that is bothering me.
Look, there's layers to this. Yeah.
What is something you wish was discussed more in the magical community?
Oh my goodness. So many things. So many things. I think the big one though for me is people don't talk about the shadow enough. Like there's a lot of like light washing or gatekeeping or like we don't want to talk about anything bad. And I'm all, bro, come on now. Just let's talk about it. Let's talk about how like when you heal, like you have to go into the shadow and it is a hard place to go. And you have to face yourself. You have to look in the mirror and it's tough. But, transmutation is a thing. So if you can go into those places and really be afraid and be okay with your wounds, you come out the other side a healed person. You come out the other side. Like I said, transmutation is a thing. We use that violent flame and we come out of it and we come into the light. But I don't think people really want to talk about that. I don't think people want to have that conversation because it's uncomfortable. And, the other thing is initiation. Like I'm big on initiation where there are phases of initiation, which is you have the thought, you want to do the thing. And then the second part of initiation is going into the liminal. And that's where you face your fears. And then you come out of it the other side, rebirth. That's the third phase of initiation. But everybody wants to talk about the phoenix rising from the ashes. They don't want to talk about the actual, like, the burning up. And
oh my God, that's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
Oh, holy crap.
Because the burning up is where the magic happens. But that's also the worst part of it. That is the, So, I wish we had more realistic, important conversations about magic because that's what magic is. Anytime you manifest, you have to go through all three stages of the initiation. And if you don't go through, that's the other thing too. If you don't go through the second phase of the initiation, which is the liminal, where we have to do the transmutation, if we don't, then we have to go back to the beginning. And you're like, why do I keep repeating all the same patterns? Well, because you failed the initiation. You wanted to go straight to the third rebirth, but you're not there. So until we learn the patterns, we will continually be in the same spot, and our manifesting won't work the way it needs to. Half of it will be there, or 25% or whatever, but yeah.
Okay, this may be removed from the pod. I don't know. But I am going to start doing a round table with some of my patrons and hopefully with guests where we discuss the answers to this question. Would you be interested in participating in one if we did it about this?
Absolutely. I would love
Yay!
to.
Cool. Okay, so Sarah and JD and Angela and Melissa and everyone, get ready. Casey.
I'll drag you through the fire. It'll be fine.
Let's get our feelings hurt.
Right. It'll be fine. It's the big joke around here is if I'm not making you cry, then I didn't do my job. So, like, reading and then doing tarot with me or any kind of coaching should come with a warning because it never fails. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, they're like, it's fine. Like, okay.
But this is the way it is.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
So, especially after COVID, in-person community has been kind of hard to find. How have you taken any steps to build community near you in person? And do you have any resources to share?
I live in the outback of the Bible Belt. Like I live here in the woods. Like there's literally 2,000 people in my town. So I don't really talk to too many people. Sometimes I'm like, what am I doing here? So community resources are really hard to find. The friends that I do have are all witches, of course, but it's really hard. And how I found community is a lot through the internet and just like-minded people. So I used to teach psychic development online for like a lot of years. It was called the Divine Wild Woman, and it was a program. And for whatever reason, the people that ended up buying my program ended up becoming like my best friends. And even though I don't teach anymore, those people still are in my life. It's kind of weird because I'm like, how did we meet? And they're like, you taught a class. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. So because I think I've just attracted like-minded people, but around here it's really, really hard. And I do have some friends because I'm not far. I'm only 30 minutes from Eureka Springs, and Eureka Springs is very open. But we do circles and we do other things. I haven't in a while, but it is something that we try to do. And, anybody is welcome. But that is something that I struggle with. I'm not going to lie. I struggle with it. And one of my friends the other day asked me, she said, you dress so down. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I never see you wear pentagrams, or I never see you wear like anything that's related to what you do. And I was like, yeah, that's on purpose because I don't want to be bound to a description of who I am, or I don't want anyone to have any kind of first impression of me that I can't get around, because it's really important for me to walk through this area and kind of disappear and let me do what I want in my own little secret world. That may sound delusional, and everyone's like, oh, you're hiding. I'm like, no, I'm not hiding. Don't worry. I'm just not blasting it out to the universe either. Like, I'm not blasting it out to everybody. And so that's kind of how I do things. Like, if you have a conversation with me, there's whistles. There's words that I use or concepts that I talk about that if you're in the know, you'll know. And if you're not, well, then too bad.
I bet there's other things that you don't outwardly portray that have nothing to do with witchcraft. It's just not the way you do things.
Yeah. I mean, I come off very, people tell me, they're like, you come off very innocent. And I'm like, good, good. You come off very innocuous. I'm like, that's great. That's what I want to hear.
My favorite quote is about that.
Oh, what is it?
I always portray myself as the soul of innocence to the better to further my works of corruption.
That's me. That's me to a T. Yeah, I've learned long ago that you can get away with more if you just kind of
Yup.
let it go. So I use that to my benefit, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I say things, and if you know, you know, and if you don't, well then okay, that's fine.
Think about the 3 biggest influences on your practice. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be like a book or scientific theory, whatever. Thank them for the effect they've had on your practice.
My 3 biggest influences?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I know this is going to sound a little egotistical, but one of the things that I love the most about my practice is my own curiosity. Because I don't tend to just stay in one lane. I love listening to other people talk about their practice because I'm like, oh, you do it so different. That's so interesting. So I really love that. I love talking to other people about things that they do. And then sometimes I'm like, girl, you crazy. But I appreciate that. I appreciate how people make their practice their own. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Why did I never think of that? And so I incorporate it into my own. And I think that's a strength. And I think that's something that I need to pat my own self on the back for, because I don't play by a lot of rules, and that's by design. And even my own thoughts about my own practice, I've told people I'm wrong. I'm like, well, why do you think I'm wrong? I don't care that I'm wrong. I just want to know why you think that. Like, what's your thought process behind that?
Convince me.
Right. You're not you're not upsetting me. I just kind of want to know. The other thing, let's see, I had 2 more. Oh, damn. All right. The biggest influences, this is going to sound so Wicca, but Scott Cunningham, like, influenced me a lot in my early 20s. I had all of his books. I bought them all from bookstores because we didn't have online yet. So I had to search them out.
Walden Books.
Yeah. Barnes and Noble. There was some at Barnes and Noble that I found. And I learned a lot about oils and about herbs and about planetary alignments and all that from him. So I took what I needed and left the rest. But I can say with certainty, without his books, I would not be where I am today, because he showed me the things I was passionate about, which was like herbs, oils, candles, crystals, that kind of thing. And just learning that really helped me shape stuff. My third influence, I really believe that going to the Magdalene Rose Temple put my magic on this like whole different level, because all of a sudden I was thinking more quantum about stuff. And I really feel like that practice gave me more confidence in kind of incorporating. So there's this like paranormal aspect to me that is different than most people, because I really love working with like spiritualism, and I love working with ghosts and elementals and the other side. Like, I'm very enmeshed in that. And when I went through that whole program, it really helped me be okay with it. Like, it's okay that you're incorporating all these things, because all I ever heard about was ancestors, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to my ancestors. Like, they're not fun. But like, how else can I incorporate that into a different way? And so I learned about the Ascended Masters, and I learned about more about elementals and fairy magic, and not to be afraid of it, because everyone's like, fairy magic, you're gonna die, and I'm like, no, you're not. It's just fine. It's fine as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, and as long as you have a talk and know that you're dealing with trickster energy, and you're like, okay, I know you're a trickster, so I'm gonna put some rules into place, and yeah, I understand you're gonna break the rules. We got it, but let's just do it anyway. That kind of thing. And yeah. So it's made my practice a little more quantum and a little more strangely earthy.
Nobody said curiosity before, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Who do you think I should have on the show next?
Oh, that's a good question. So I think my friend Stephanie, who I work with a lot, she has such an interesting kind of take on spirituality. I don't know that she calls herself a witch, even though she does like the violent flame stuff, and she's all about transmutation and Bridget and fire and Kali. So she's kind of fierce, but in this very quiet, eloquent kind of way. And I always wonder about her because she's an Aquarius, so she seems so chill. But then the things that she talks about and the things that she does, I'm like, okay. There's some hidden rage there somewhere that is fueling all of your practice. I love that for you. So she's an interesting dichotomy, and she loves human design.
Ooh.
That's like her baby. And she's so good at it. And yeah, she's very fascinating because she'll take human design and put it into like a quantum kind of thing. Like, well, this is the energy of the human design, and this is how it works in the world, and this is what you can expect from it. And it's very and these are prophecies that are probably going to happen because of this, and this is how it's going to work in like politics and stuff. And she's always right. And it just, I don't know. I look at those charts and I'm all like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but great, awesome.
So she works with human design, but how it relates to not completely. I understand that, but that never occurred to me.
Yeah, and the cycles of like the cycles of people, culture, how it lands. Right now, like she's talking about how we're going to, I don't know, you have to ask her, but there's something about the phoenix. This is what I got from it. There's something about the phoenix, and there's something about how we're going into like this from a very like community based world where like, you know, the one world kind of new world order situation to we're kind of dumping that and we're moving into more like singularity meaning like communities, like we're no longer relying on the government, we're relying on our communities instead because we're not all one anymore. Yeah, we're not, you know, so we're like relying on each other more and relying on our little groups. That's what she means by singularity, and how that works more with tribes and stuff like that. And it's all in the human design, she said, and I'm like, okay, I believe you. Because I don't know where you're getting this, and I can't read your charts, so. But she also works with children too. That's the big thing that she loves. Her programs are all based on like, this is your human design chart and these are your kids' human design chart. And so if you want to get along with your kids, this is how you do it. And this is how you talk to them. Yeah. Which is super interesting too. And she's very much about the land. She has a farm and she works with bees. So
cool. I'll get with you after. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, she's a very interesting person because she incorporates all these different things, and then if you talk to her, she's like, I'm not really doing anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm gonna go bake some cookies now. I'm like, great. Okay, you just like transmutated all this energy and predicted the future, and now you're like, I gotta go bake cookies. Awesome. That's how she is.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Any events you're going to be doing? Anything going on with your business? Anything like that?
Oh, I just hit my microphone. Sorry. Let me try that again. No. I'm doing tarot readings. That's what I do. I coach people. Usually my tarot readings turn into like, you ask me about one thing. If you ask me about your boyfriend, it's going to turn into a whole conversation about your patterns and your wounds and why you attract the people that you attract. So it's not for the faint of heart, but that's really what I've been doing. I've just been doing readings and laying low. I have written 5 books. I forget to tell people that. So, I mean, if you want to look at my books, my name, it's on Amazon, or if you don't like Amazon, I totally get it. I'm in Barnes & Noble. I'm in all the bookstores, apparently, and the CVSs, because people keep sending me pictures of my books on end caps at CVS. Like, I have a whole...
That is funny.
I have a whole, like, collage of, like, hey, I found your books again at CVS. So, like, great.
That's so random.
I know. But they're all about ghost stories and places that I've been. I love to travel and go to haunted locations and then write about it. So if you live in Arizona, Arkansas, or Oklahoma, I've written a book about it. Well, I wrote 2 about Arizona. I've written 2 about Arkansas and then one about Oklahoma. They're just different places you can go and different fun stories. And 90% of these places are you can go to and you can look at them yourself. Like I went to the Spook Light. Well, it's on the border of Missouri and Arkansas. I mean, Missouri border of Oklahoma and Missouri. So I technically put it in my Oklahoma book. Because like literally like you go over the line and then you go back. But that was really interesting, and that's something I feel like everybody should do because it is the weirdest phenomenon ever. And you can literally just drive there and watch it. And I didn't think it was real. I'll just tell you, I've seen a lot of crap in my life. I thought this has got to be fake, and it showed up, and I was like, what the hell is that? And it literally, like, for days, I was like, there's no way I saw what I saw. There's no way. Like, I was so, like, I don't know. That was one of those things where I was like, that has to be a natural phenomenon. It just has to be, because it literally shows up, and then it just leaves. And the weird thing is I was there at, like, 1 a.m, and there were cars lined up at different locations waiting for it to happen. So it's like predictable. It's so weird.
I'm going to have to look at the Arizona ones.
It's so random that I'm talking about this. Yeah, so I used to live in Tucson for like 10 years. So I wrote about all of the haunted places in Tucson.
Hell yes. Good.
Yeah, and Phoenix, and
I don't go to Phoenix. I don't do that. It's too big and too hot.
And Jerome, and Cottonwood, like all those places, all around there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the last 2 things. Thing number 1 is please tell me a story.
A story?
Yeah.
Oh, about what? Anything?
Whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be related to witches. It could be something goofy that happened to you 3 days ago.
Oh, okay.
You've just been like, man, I've been thinking about this dumb thing that happened.
A story? Well, I had a really weird experience in a haunted location just recently, and it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind because it's the weirdest thing. So we went to this place in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and I have this theory about certain haunted locations. Like, why do certain places just become batteries for activity and then other places don't? And so I've been playing around with this idea of like, what it is. So we go to this haunted location, and I wrote about it in my Erie, Oklahoma book. It's called The Stone Lion Inn. It's in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And it's a really weird story, because when I went and looked at it, I looked at it in the middle of the night, and because like we couldn't find the place, we finally found it. And this is 5 years ago. And I went and I looked in it wasn't open at the time, so we just took pictures of the outside because I really just needed pictures. And Stephanie was with me, and she said, "Do you see any ghosts like in the windows or anything like that? Is there anything you're picking up on?" And I'm like, this place doesn't really seem haunted to me, honestly. All I see is a woman with like white hair standing on the second floor in the window, and she's looking really sad. And I don't know, her hair is pulled back and she's just looking out the window. And so Stephanie Googles it, and she's like, "That's none of the ghosts in the place." And I'm like, okay, totally random and weird, but that's what I saw. And she's like, I believe you. Maybe it'll come around eventually. So I did all this research on it. I'm like, what did I pick up? Because none of the ghosts there, they're all children in that place. Children is the big phenomenon there. And I'm like, did not pick up one child. So 5 years later, I go there. And I stay there for 3 days and do the murder mystery and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, they left me here to my own devices, because they don't. We rented out the whole place. There was a bunch of us. And so, of course, I'm going to investigate it. And then, like, if anybody wants to investigate, I got equipment. Let's go. And so I decided that it's going to be a teaching moment. So I taught everybody how to do this stuff. But anyway, I go there. And I'm still not picking up on any of the ghosts that are supposed to be there. And the second day we investigated, we picked up on the owner of the place, who had just died in February of 2024. And I was like, well, that's totally weird, because I just saw her on the internet and she was doing an interview, and it's kind of weird because I saw her, but I looked and it was right before she died that she did this interview. And I looked at her, and she's talking through the spirit box, and she's talking through us, and she's giving all these really detailed answers. And I'm all like, I should look at a picture of her. And I looked at a picture of her, and it was a lady in the window that I saw 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, what? This is so weird. Like, and now we're talking to her in this place. Like, was that like one of those like moments, where like circular moments, where I saw something like future oriented 5 years ago, because I knew that I was going to talk to her on the other side in her bed and breakfast later on. And it really, really sat with me, because later we found out that like she put her heart and soul in that place, and she picked out every piece of furniture in that Airbnb. She did everything. Like it was her baby, and it was almost like the house was her. Like, it was a total Monster House moment or Rose Red moment. And I was like, of course I would see her in the window. Of course I would, because that's the prevailing energy that nobody even thinks about. So, yeah, that has.
Have you done that before?
What do you mean?
Sort of that weird time shifty thing.
Yeah. Huh. And that's the thing. It confuses me, because I'm writing this book and I'm trying to figure out who was the lady in the window. Like, there's nothing here about the lady in the window. Like, she was sad and she was like grieving. And through communication with her in her B&B, I realized, and a bunch of us realized, it wasn't just me, it was like the whole group was like, she's sad because they're selling it. She's sad that they're selling it, and this is her baby. And like, even on the other side, she's so overprotective of it. In her last
that she
days,
went back in time to show you.
I guess. I don't know.
What the hell? That's cool.
It's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. It's weird because like I don't know, like it was a weird thing. And yeah, there was just all these like little random things that happened all weekend where like birthdays matched up, time shifts, just like I don't know. It was a really weird weekend, but I just remember thinking, oh, the house is for sale, the business is for sale, and she doesn't want it to go to anybody who's not going to respect it. And it's almost like even on the other side, she's permeating this house. And her last day, she opted to move back in to the third floor to kind of be close to the house, even though she had another house. It was just, I don't know. Stories like that really get to me because it's never about the ghost. It's always about the human experience attached to the house. And that's probably why I didn't pick up on any of the other like silly little ghosts in there, because she probably knew that I would listen. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
And she was low key doing like seances in the cemetery and stuff. And we found we found pentagrams and a witch's broom in there. And I'm like, she's a witch. And nobody knows because nobody understands what this stuff is. So that might have been it too.
Huh. Well, thank you for the story.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope that was a good one.
It was. So the second thing I ask is for a recommendation. It does not have to be witch related at all. Just whatever you are into this week, recommend it.
A recommendation?
Yep. Like, what song are you listening to? What's your favorite snack today? Whatever, something like that. Anything at all that you were, if you met up with your best friend, you were like, you got to try this thing. That. Okay.
Something totally random. But I made jalapeno jelly. And I was like, nah, this can't be good. like who makes this? But one of my friends is like, yeah, it's really, really good. So I made it. You're supposed to eat it with like cream cheese or like, well, I ate it with onion dip on Triscuits. And oh my gosh, it was the most amazing, spicy, sweet, savory thing I've ever eaten in my whole life. That's like pretty much what I ate for lunch for all week.
Cool.
Yeah.
So pepper jelly or making it yourself?
I made it myself. Yeah.
No, I mean, which one are you recommending?
I recommend.
Or are you recommending yours?
No, it's not mine. Make it yourself. It's really easy. You just take jalapenos and you put them in simple syrup like you would any other kind of jelly or jam. It's really, and I put some. I had some pickled ginger, and instead of vinegar, I put in some pickled ginger
juice,
the liquid. Yeah, and made it. Yeah, it made it more earthy, and it like had this little tang to it that was very good. So
cool.
Yeah.
So will you craft a spell with me if we find out that we are able to, if our practices don't mesh, then they don't. But if they do you want to try it?
Sure.
What are we going to work on?
What do you like to do?
I don't know. Like protection. We could hex somebody specifically towards the middle of the eastern U.S.
I don't like the color orange.
Me neither.
And I don't really like. I don't know. I don't like anybody. I just don't like anybody that, takes away healthcare and SNAP benefits from millions of people to build a ballroom. But I don't know who we keep talking about. But yeah, not my friend. Don't like it. Not happy with it.
I'm going like blank. I can't remember what else do I want to do? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's whatever, any of these.
I think it's a worthy cause though, because I mean, like I always say, clots and prayers, we don't really need to like super move that energy too much. It's already there. You don't have to like work too hard at it. And I think that's the best kind of spell is when you're using, especially with hexes, if you're using their own weaknesses against them, then you don't really, you know.
So what specific thing are we going to work on? To hear more of the members-only episode, head over to crepuscularconjuration.com. The monthly magic tier will give you access to the monthly Magic Marco Polo group, the private Facebook group, and access to the written monthly spells. There's also Crepuscular Conjurations, giving you bonus podcast episodes, coloring pages, guided meditations, spellcrafting videos, printable downloads, and a lot more. The free Witchy Wonderment level will give you a little sample of everything I just mentioned. You can also visit my shop, Clever Kim's Curios, to get spell boxes one at a time or by monthly subscription, intentional handcrafted jewelry that I make especially for witches, and handmade altar tools. You can even listen to the full Your Average Witch podcast library, including show notes and transcripts. Check it out at crepuscularconjuration.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of Your Average Witch. You can find us all around the internet on Instagram at Your Average Witch Podcast, facebook.com/groups/hivehouse, at www.youraverageWitch.com, and at your favorite podcast service. If you'd like to recommend someone for the podcast, like to be on it yourself, or if you'd like to advertise on the podcast, send an email to youraverageWitchPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Tuesday.